Hello everybody, welcome back to Edge Sports Network. We got another interview for you guys today, part of our summer series that we've had here on the site. We got Camryn Bynum, California cornerback for their football team. Camryn, thanks so much for joining us here on the site today. Great to have you on.
How you doing? Thanks for having me.
No problem at all, our pleasure. I want to start here with the most relevant thing. In this preseason here, you were named to the Jim Thorpe Award watch list. That award obviously very prestigious, and you're on that watch list for it. So I want to ask you, first question here, how do you kind of feel to be put on a list like that? How does that kind of give you some confidence headed into your final season here?
I'm really thankful to be on it overall. Just seeing that my talents and work I've put in has been noticed so far, but can't get too hung up off of it. Because at the end of the day, it's just a watch list, and my goal is to go out and win it. So, be excited now, but all the preseason stuff is just extra stuff to blow your head up. So I'm just keeping my head down, still working.
Best way to do it right there. You've set yourself up nicely to go out and win that award. And I want to ask you about your preseason too. How have things kind of been with this pandemic going on? How's training looked for you, and just how have you been kind of doing overall?
I've been doing great. Obviously, being in a pandemic and living through it right now isn't the most fortunate thing, but I've been using it as an opportunity to separate myself from others, knowing that probably not everybody is taking advantage of their time the right way that you should. So I've been really tough on myself, maximizing every day and putting some work in, regardless if it's film, field work, whatever, lifting, just doing something every day to just get that much better. So I've been enjoying being able to sit back and really be able to reevaluate myself and my game and really have time to work on it now, because it's a lot easier not having to be in school, and so I'm able to sit back and really be able to focus on football.
Sounds like you kind of have a great outlook on it. I know it's pretty tough right now, just mentally, to kind of stick with things. So the fact that you're kind of using it to get that edge over the other guys, over your competition and stuff, sounds like you really have the right mentality for it right now. And it's shown with your preseason accolades so far here. So I know you're coming off a really good junior season. You had 59 tackles, interception, 9 pass defenses. You've had a really impressive career at Cal so far. You've led your team in pass breakups and pass defenses over the past 3 years. So I want to ask you, coming into a D1 program, you've settled in really nicely. How have you felt overall in your time at Cal? How have you felt like you've settled in here and just kind of fit with the team and the team chemistry?
I think I've mixed in super well, actually. I redshirted my freshman year, so that's probably the best thing I've ever done for myself in my career. Obviously, coming in as a freshman, that's not always your first thought to redshirt. You always want to come in playing, and that's just a competitor in every player. But being able to sit back that year and really learn and see and just learn more about football overall and just the big picture of football and how the game is played, that's probably what helped me the most in my career, and that's what helped me be able to come in my redshirt freshman year playing well. So I think just from then on out, I was able to have that outlook. So now I'm able to help the younger guys that come in and talk to them and be a mentor to other people and really be able to help and serve other people during my time here. So that's probably the most fun that I've had, and the biggest thing that I've been able to do is helping the younger guys in my time so far.
For sure, yeah. It's definitely shown on the field, and I always kind of like to talk about that redshirt season. As you mentioned, every guy wants to come into a program and play their first season. But I've talked with a lot of guys, and they found that redshirt season often helps. Some guys might get a little distracted by it, but for you, you speak very highly of it. Can you just kind of explain, when you're in a redshirt season like that, if you had to pick a few things that you were really focusing on to kind of tune up, what would those things be, and what you kind of focus on to make sure once you got out on the field, you were ready to go?
So first and foremost, just learn the defense. That's the biggest thing, because coming from high school, I was fortunate to have a pretty complex defense in high school, so it translated a lot. But I know most people only play a few coverages in high school, so coming into college having a full playbook on the defensive side, that's probably the toughest thing. And it took a lot of time to actually get the playbook down, so that's the biggest thing I focused on. And other than that, just my technique, being able to watch the guys in the game, see real competition. And I was thankful to be able to travel to every game while redshirting, so I was able to really see it, So I was taking mental reps and just going through my technique and using my time going against scouts and being a scout guy, being able to go against the best receivers on my team because I was on scout defense for some weeks. I was able to really hone in on my technique and be able to just work on my game, knowing that I wasn't going to play. So I was able to try new things and really just, it was a trial and error year. So I was really thankful for that.
Yeah, and I mean, how is that transition going from high school to college football? I know, as you mentioned, in high school, guys kind of only focus on a few coverages and stuff. You have to learn a whole new playbook when you get to college. How was that transition for you, and how'd you feel just kind of making that move?
It wasn't too tough because of where I came from. I was playing against, from Corona Centennial, played against the biggest schools in California and across the country. So I was able to get a lot of good competition. So a lot of guys I was going against in high school, I've been going against in college. But still, at the end of the day, the speed of the game, that's one thing you're always going to hear is going to be different. People are a lot faster, a lot stronger. So that's one thing you have to just train yourself into. There's no way to rush into a bigger body or anything. You got to develop over time. And obviously, like I said, the playbook, you have to know football. So I feel like every single year I look back at the previous year and be like, how did I not know this? How did I not expect this? So just over time, you learn a lot more things about football and you adjust just to the game overall. And then you look back and realize how much you learned, and then you're thankful for that. So over my time, I've just learned big picture football and just how the game is played and how offensive coaches want to attack a defense. That stuff I always keep in my mind as I've grown from my freshman year and coming from senior in high school to now.
Yeah, I mean, you looked really comfortable in that first year that you had with the program. I know in your freshman year you started all 12 games. Obviously, that was right after the redshirt season right there. I want to go back to your very first college game ever. It was against North Carolina. You had 7 tackles in your debut. Can you walk us through the emotions of that first game? I mean, what did it feel like going out there for the first time on a college football field?
It didn't feel real. Just being in a big stadium like that. I played in big stadiums in high school, playing in state championships and all that, but being in college and flying across the country to go play in a game, it didn't feel real. But the second the ball snapped, it was comfortable. The crowd was gone. Everything was gone. So I just leaned on my technique and on my preparation at that point. I felt really comfortable playing out there. But pre-game and all that stuff, you want to be starstruck until the first play starts, and then you got to snap right back into football mode, and that's when you really get comfortable after that. But it was crazy experience.
I can only,
to say the least.
I can only imagine. And I mean, when you're out there, do you like hear the fans? I mean, I know what you mentioned. Once you get out there, it kind of goes away, but like you're in front of thousands of people, 10,000 plus. So when you're out there on the field, are you hearing people yelling stuff, or is it just kind of a blur?
It's a blur until you snap out of your zone and just sit back and listen. Then it's like, well, this is loud. Or on third downs, obviously, our home crowd is always going to be going crazy, so you can't even hear communication with other guys. It's all hand signals. But in a game, honestly, the thing you hear the most is the other sideline talking trash to you. Me playing corner, so I'm on the sideline guarding their receiver, and typically it's their best guy, so they're trying to get me out of my game, but that's what feeds me. And when I hear that, that's when I take it up to another level and I get excited. So that's one thing I do listen out for during games. It brings a whole nother beast out of me.
That's great. You got to keep that rivalry up right there, that killer mentality. And you got to be talking trash back, right?
I give them that look. I don't really say too much because I don't want to get too tired or get too hung up in it. But when I make a play, I give them that look, or I might say a few words here and there, but overall, I keep quiet and just give them that look like, I'm locking your receiver up. I don't even need to say anything.
There we go.
Push receiver out of bounds, and that's enough words right there.
I think that's even more intimidating, that silent but deadly mentality right there. I think that kind of is going to get in the head of opponents more. So, I mean, yeah, you've been great so far in your career here, and that's definitely a funny story right there. I didn't know the amount of trash talk that you could kind of hear. I knew it went on, but I didn't know the amount where you could hear it, in games. So that's definitely pretty interesting.
Details, funny.
Man, I hope no one says anything too rough right there, but you stay focused. So that's definitely kind of the mentality you got to have out there, especially in college football, Division I. I know, you've played in some huge games, as you mentioned, too. I'd assume the smack talk's crazy in these games, but I want to go to your bowl games here. I mean, you've been lucky enough to play in a couple. I know you guys beat Illinois this past season in a bowl game, 35-20. In those bowl games, I mean, we just mentioned how college football games in general are insane. But can you talk a little bit about those bowl games? What's the atmosphere like in those? And how do you kind of feel playing in front of a ton of people on the biggest stage possible?
It's really fun being able to play in a bowl game because it's
Mm-hmm.
typically not a team you would play on a regular year. So these are two teams that I've never played against and didn't know too much about going into it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just cool playing against people that you have no clue about. Like playing in Pac-12, you basically know every player you're going against. You play against them in the past or went to high school with them. But going against people from like Illinois and from TCU is a whole different game because you don't know who these people are. So you really got to be on your A game every play because you don't know what they're capable of. And just the atmosphere. You got a trophy on the line. You got a bowl game, a ring on the line. So the stakes are a lot higher than obviously every game you should be playing the same. But stakes to win a bowl game, you want to win your last game of your season. So just the competition aspect is way higher, and you just feel it's way more competitive. So and that's what I love as a competitor myself.
Exactly. And you guys play some great teams. Illinois, TCU, just a couple of the great teams you play. Obviously, the Pac-12 is filled with great teams as well. I know you yourself have played against teams like, UCLA, Stanford, Utah, Oregon, you name it. How has that kind of helped you in your personal development playing, that kind of competition? I'm sure that's kind of helped you improve your skills and whatnot, but how has it really kind of made you, raise to a new level?
I just think the competition is top tier. I think Pac-12 has some of the best receivers overall. Just spread out through the whole conference. Every school is going to have a really good receiver, and just being able to go against that week in and week out is really preparing me for the next level. Because a lot of guys I've gone against and will be going against are high draft picks, and you see that in their game, and they're really good. And I give a lot of respect to all the receivers in our conference. So I just think that's preparing me and leveling up my game every week. So it's like iron sharpens iron. So I'm thankful to be able to go in against really good competition. So it's for sure helped me and helps you stay on your toes. You never have a week off.
Definitely top tier competition, and you've fared well against it so far. You go into your senior season here. Looking back at your career now before you kind of enter this final year, what's kind of, some of your favorite memories that you've had in the program? Can be on or off the field, but what are some things that really stand out to you in your time at Cal?
Right now, just being away from the team during this whole pandemic, just practice I miss. Practice is, looking back at it, it's super funny. It's always a good time, super competitive with your teammates, talking trash, and just messing around, having fun, still competing, but having fun with it. So, being away from it now, and it's all voluntary workouts because COVID is making me miss football and something simple as practice. So that's probably my best memories now, just being on the practice field with my teammates and just being with everybody and being with the big group of your teammates that you're super close with. So that's probably the best memories I have, just looking back at practice and just random funny moments from there. And then the film room, joking around. And it's always a good time with your teammates. So just being together as a whole team, that's what I miss the most.
For sure. I mean, I'm sure it's really tough right now. Are you guys doing kind of like Zoom calls and stuff, staying connected?
Yeah, we're doing Zoom calls every week to watch film and stuff. Sometimes it'll just be a Zoom call just to call and check in with each other, throw some jokes at each other, roast a little. And but we're for sure staying tight with our football stuff and our assignments and all that. So
for sure,
close to it.
Roasting each other, doing some trash talk. You're making the Pac-12 right now seem like it's the most trash talk conference that there is in football.
I don't know. We'll see if I'm ever able to play against some SEC teams and ACC, but for sure we're up there.
I know you guys are definitely up there for sure, but yeah, I'm sure you're missing that kind of bond right now. It's good that you guys are staying connected, through Zoom, FaceTime, social media, whatever. That's about all you can do right now, unfortunately, but hopefully things start to get back to normal and whatnot. I want to jump back, to your days before Cal and stuff. I know you're from California. What kind of made you choose Cal? I know, were you planning on staying relatively local, or did you want to go far away? I mean, what went into the college decision for you?
So I wasn't a super crazy high recruit.
Mm-hmm.
So still limited with my options, but I had a pretty good number of Pac-12 schools, and just looking at Cal, I just realized that not everybody can go there. It's a special school in terms of the caliber of degree it is. Number one public school in the country, and it's in the Pac-12. So I'm playing against the best competition while still getting the best and top tier education. So I saw how special that is, because not everybody can go here. You have to have grades, and you have to be really good at football to be able to play against this competition. So I saw that and knew that it was a place for me. And on top of that, I have a lot of family in the Bay Area. My mom's entire side of her family. So I'm basically home away from home. I've been visiting the Bay my whole life. So like right now, I'm living at my aunt's house just to stay away from any COVID issues. So it's just super convenient for me to be in the Bay at Cal and also with my family. So I'm enjoying it.
I would imagine it's a great spot to, spend your college years and stuff. We're out on the East Coast, pretty much as far away as you can get. We're out in Massachusetts right now. So I gotta ask, you gotta enlighten us. What's the best part about the West Coast, or just California in general?
You're gonna hate me for this, but In-N-Out.
Oh man, see, I haven't had it yet. I've been out to Cal a couple times, but I went out to San Francisco when I was really, really young, so I don't really remember it. But I was out in Arizona because I almost went to Arizona State for college, and I think they had a few In-N-Outs out there, but I never ended up going to one.
It's not the same in other states. I don't know. I tried it in Arizona. I tried it in Texas. It didn't taste the same as California. And I don't know if I'm biased. I don't know. It is different. You got to try it in California, but it's for sure the best fast food restaurant out. And my life goal is to get sponsored by In-N-Out because I eat it so much.
Oh, there we go. Hey, maybe you'll get that. You'll get that someday. I mean, if you just keep eating it, keep doing what you're doing on the field, I think you'll get the sponsorship. But yeah, I mean, I gotta. You're making me want to try In-N-Out now. Do you guys have Five Guys out there? Because that's what we have out here.
Five Guys, but you'll go broke eating Five Guys every week. You can eat In-N-Out and still have some rent money. Five Guys, no, you can't.
Yeah, Five Guys is like it's like an uppity fast food restaurant. I don't know how to explain it, but
yeah, you're paying restaurant prices for that.
Yeah, no, I don't like that about. That's why I don't really go there too much. But I'm definitely gonna have to try to get some In-N-Out if I'm ever out on the West Coast again. Because you're speaking highly of it, so I'm gonna trust your word for it. And if that's the best thing in California, then I'll believe you there, because you guys got a lot. You guys got the beaches, you guys got the sports. In-N-Out, I didn't know would be your number one answer, but now I got to try it. So,
In-N-Out in Disneyland, In-N-Out at Disneyland beaches.
There we go. You know what? We'll even tag In-N-Out on the interview here on Twitter. We might as well try and get the sponsorship here. I mean, we'll push for it for you, no doubt about it.
Got to get in good with them.
Oh, we got you. We'll do what we can right here. We'll push the this part of the interview, and we'll see what happens from it. So, you heard it here first. Camryn Bynum, your future In-N-Out sponsor. But
yes, sir.
I also want to ask you, I mean, I know dating back to your high school days, you wore number 24, still wearing number 24. Is there any story behind the jersey number?
Kobe Bryant. So my first year wearing 24 and playing youth football, the same year Kobe switched from 8 to 24. And Kobe's always been my favorite athlete, not just basketball player, favorite athlete of all time. And I model my game, kind of my life for the most part of sports after him, my whole mentality, and he's always been biggest inspiration to me growing up, and kind of modeled everything after him, the hard work, the amount of time I put in towards my craft, and just a passion for the game after him. So he's always been my biggest and most influential person to look up to, and it's always a life goal to meet him. But rest in peace, and that's the story behind wearing 24 and always behind Kobe, basically.
I mean, great guy to look after. I still can't believe everything. I know it was, 6 months?
6 months, yes.
Yeah, 6 months on the 26th. So, Honestly, like it still doesn't feel real.
Yeah, it never does.
No, I don't think I will ever kind of believe in stuff because, just growing up, he was the guy. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, it's just, I am a huge Celtics fan, and,
Oh yeah, you're up there in Massachusetts.
exactly. But like, you look at it, and I look at it now, as a 8-year-old, I was like, my God, I hate Kobe Bryant because he kills us every single time. But now you look back on it, and it's like that Celtics Lakers rivalry never would have been the same without him. So just the fact that not only us up in Massachusetts here, but everyone across the country got to watch that rivalry and just Lakers basketball the way it was because of him. I mean, that'll just stick around forever. So
Yeah, and just you gotta respect it. You just gotta respect it.
Mhm.
Even if you hate him, you gotta at the end of the day.
exactly. I mean, it's just like I don't know if anything will really top that era of basketball, you know, for the rest of my life. I mean, I hate to say it like that because I'm sure something might, but just looking back on it now, it was just so special. And
See anything being better either.
yeah, I can't really. I just don't think the league is how it used to be. And I just think that the one thing that kind of gives me, some positive outlook on the entire thing was you have so many athletes across the country now. In our generation, for example, from age like 20 to 25 that are playing sports right now, whether that be basketball, football, like yourself, that kind of looked up to Kobe, like to implement his skill set, his style of play, his mentality into their game. And I think that's how Kobe's going to live on right there. So if there's any positive, yeah, I mean, if there's any positive to take out of it, it's that, I mean, Kobe will never really be gone. That legacy's always going to live on. So
Exactly.
for sure. And I mean, this is coming from a Celtics fan too. So that's the real deal.
Respect the opinion. Exactly.
That's the real deal right there. I'm guessing are you a Lakers fan?
Yep, like crazy.
All right. Well, you know what? We might have some beef coming up in a couple weeks here. If Celtics Lakers meet in the finals, maybe that's what I'm hoping. I know the Bucks are good too, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. You support LeBron too?
Yeah, if I support LeBron, I know Kobe did too. People try to hate on him, try to make it a rivalry, but LeBron is LeBron, and he's one of the greatest also. So Kobe's better, but
yeah.
At the end of the day, yeah.
Fair. I'll give it to you. You're from the area, so I can accept that. You don't seem like a bandwagon fan, so
no.
I can respect it. The Lakers Celtics, it's always gonna clash, but I can at least respect your side here. And Kobe definitely a great role model, and definitely. I'm sure he'd be happy to see you out there wearing 24, doing what you're doing on the field right now. To kind of wrap up here, I always like to ask a few fun questions to wrap up the interview. And then at the end of the interview, we have the $1 million question. You might have thought about it, you might have not, but we'll get to that one. If you could intercept any quarterback, past or present, dead or alive, any quarterback, who would it be and why?
Let's see, Tom Brady, because he's considered the greatest, and I think he is the greatest quarterback to play. So
perfect.
That'll give me the most confidence in my game to be able to pick him off.
See, now that is an opinion that I can agree with you right on there because, again, growing up, Tom Brady, my guy my entire life.
Yeah,
left for Tampa Bay.
Stop saying he's the greatest stuff, so you gotta agree.
There we go. That's what I like to hear. Still heartbroken that he went to Tampa Bay, but I'll be all right. We got Cam Newton, so we should be okay. I don't know though, honestly. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens right there. But I always want to ask this too. What's kind of the best piece of advice that you've ever gotten in your football career? Something that's really stuck with you and that you've kind of carried on throughout your time on the field?
Probably from my coach Anthony Brown, my trainer, that coached me for my 7-on-7 and still training me to this day. He basically told me to stick to doing what got you good. So through my whole career, obviously he trained me to make me the player I am today. And he just told me stick to exactly what got you good. You don't have to reinvent anything, but just stay being a technician and you'll be fine. You don't have to do any of the fancy, good-looking stuff. Stick to what got you good. And I think that to anywhere in life, you need to just remember where you came from and just be yourself at the end of the day. You don't have to change anything up once you get the next step in life. So that's one football advice, and just life overall to me.
That's great advice right there. I think just kind of, do you and don't switch it up for
Exactly.
anyone. And I mean, yeah, that definitely goes for living off the field too. So you can really translate that into athletics, football, and life. So I think that's really good advice right there. I mean, you're headed into your final year here. What are you kind of hoping for this season? Do you have any, looming goals for yourself and Cal football for this year?
For myself, obviously want to have the best season of my career. Made the watch list for the Jim Thorpes, and every year that's been a goal of mine to win it because I play the game to be the best. So whatever form that is, whatever the stats are going to be, I want to be the best corner to play football. And as a team, win the Rose Bowl and win every game. We don't expect to lose a game, so it may happen down the road, but at the end of the day, we aim to win every single game. So I just want to help contribute to my team as much as possible and lock my side of the field down. And I think that'll give the team a better chance of winning if I do my part. So team effort overall to win as many games as possible.
It's kind of the best goal to have right there before every year. And you've seen success your 3 years with Cal. So headed into the senior year, I'm sure you're really looking forward to it to kind of wrap up things before you head on to wherever you may go. I know, you were a team captain this past season, for the entire season. How would you kind of describe your leadership style if you had to pick like 3 words to kind of describe how you want to be seen as a leader? I know you had mentioned earlier you're really trying to help out these younger guys. So if you could kind of describe that leadership style that you have, how would you describe it?
3 words, I'd say lead by example. I think overall my whole leadership style is I do the work and you guys watch and do what I do. I kind of play off the things you want. Basically, if you want to be inspired, watch me. If you want to, if you're tired, watch me work. So saying workouts or in the game. If you're feeling down, watch me, and I'm gonna be giving my all every time. So I think just overall in everything I do on the field and off the field, I try to be an example for people watching me. Because you never know when people are watching you. So that's for sure my leadership style: leading by example and doing the right thing always, and being the hardest worker in the room and having confidence, being able to say you're the hardest worker. So I think that's the best type of leadership style when you're doing it yourself. So people can just look at you for the perfect example and not have to rely on your words.
Actions do speak louder than words. So, I mean, that's really the best way to do it. You can only say so much. You got to go out there and you got to do it. So clearly, I mean, clearly your teammates saw you as one of these leaders, elected you one for the team, and as a captain, rather, leader on this team. And I want to, wrap up the interview with this here. This is $1 million question. So I want to ask you, let's look 5 years down the road, 2025. What would be the perfect scenario for Camryn Bynum if you had to kind of craft the ideal situation? Where would you be? What would you be doing?
Where would I be in my career? Expect myself to be the best corner playing football at the time. Let's see, in life, God willing, hopefully married, hopefully have a kid or two maybe, depending on time off, in God's will. Have a house by then, be a master on the piano, playing a big grand piano in my big old living room with some glass windows looking out to my yard. And let's see, playing football still, being in the prime of my career and being the best corner playing ball and striving to be the best. And God willing, have a family. So that's the goal. And whatever happens from then on, or if it does or doesn't happen, I'm content with it. But that's the goal.
kind of the dream life right there. And you can't forget that In-N-Out sponsorship. I mean, you'd be getting free In-N-Out for the family all year, So
In-N-Out on my big old ranch house yard. So I have my own restaurant.
There you go. That's perfect. That is literally the dream right there. You got every section covered. You got football, family, and food. So there you go. I mean, can't get much better than that. But yeah, I mean, hey, Camryn, thanks so much for joining us here on the side today. I mean, congrats on a great junior season and a great career so far at Cal. We're wishing you nothing but the best for your senior year here. I hope you guys get started on time and whatnot. Everything's as normal as possible. But Camryn Bynum, I mean, thanks so much for joining us here on Edge Sports Network today. It was great speaking to you, and we'd always love to have you back.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Whenever you need me back, I'm there. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Cam. No problem at all. We'll put your Twitter down below so everyone can go follow your career journey. And, of course, the In-N-Out sponsorship. We will stress that heavily, as always. We'll also put a link to Cal Football's website so you guys can follow for news and updates throughout the year as the team progresses in the season. But, guys, thanks so much for joining us here on Edge Sports Network today for another interview. Hope you guys are staying safe and healthy. And, as always, we'll see you guys next time.